Hi, folks. I hope you are okay. Love to everybody up there. We're going to look at Unite the Kingdom Freedom Rally in London, and we're going to give a critical review. And I'm hoping that what I share will help the organisers maybe next year to do even better than this year. So that's why I'm doing it, because I think some things could have been done better. However, it was a fantastic time, and we'll get into that in a minute. Before I do, I'm not well. I've been struggling for 5 days. I'm hoping to go to the doctors tomorrow. I'm really struggling. My body's in pain. So I'm not up to doing a Speaker's Corner review. I'm only going to do this as a short video. I did watch the whole of the Unite the Kingdom Freedom Rally. Now, my background, I wrote a book called Tommy Robinson and the Coming Civil War around about 2018. That book, basically the thesis of that book was the looking at the Islamification and the wokeification of the UK and the attacking of freedom of speech. I'm still not well, guys, but I'm just going to do a short time. So that book was a seminal book. It sold well on Amazon, and you can't get the book now. Amazon have taken all my books apart from one, but they've taken my account. I was a best-selling author on Amazon. My book, Charlie Kirk book, was earning £1,000 a week, and they took all my royalties away, which would have been amounted to about £4,000 or £5,000. I think it would have been up to £10,000, but they took all my royalties. They took all my books down, apart from one. They've left one up, but I have no account. I can't do anything. I can't tell them to take that book off. I don't know if they're selling that book. But they've stolen all my royalties and destroyed my work. And this book, Tommy Robinson, The Coming Civil War, I think was a seminal work, and I think it encouraged people like Tommy Robinson and others to think about Christianity, because the thesis of the book was, unless we get back to our roots, which is what the Unite the Kingdom rally is all about, unless we get back to our Christian roots, we will not have a foundation for the nation. And we need to protect and defend free speech, and we need to be aware of Islamification and wokeification. And so that book was a key seminal book, 2018. I don't think you can get the book anymore. I think Amazon have taken it off, unless somewhere it's on some of the platforms somewhere where someone's downloaded it. I don't know. Maybe you can find it. So I have had behind the scenes over the years a backseat influence on the Patriot movement. But it's been backseat. I've been at the backseat. I've not been at the forefront or anything like that. I've been trying to encourage it intellectually behind the scenes, and maybe I've had a teeny little influence. Yeah, so that's my background. I was never really interested in politics until Tommy Robinson came along and President Donald Trump. That's when I became politically interested, and because Donald Trump just seemed to be out of the box, and I just admired Tommy Robinson's courage, I really did, and still do admire his courage. I think he is a national hero, to be honest, and he does deserve a knighthood for what he did with the grooming gangs, exposing the grooming gangs. And I think he gets a lot of stick, and I think it's outrageous, really, the stick that he gets. So, without further ado, so the rally started.
Linda's given me the authority to go right.
So it started here. It was a huge success, by the way. Before we get in, I'm going to give a critical assessment in order that the organizers, maybe one of the organizers might listen to this and take on board what I'm saying. As a supporter, I believe in this. I support this. I couldn't be there. A, I was sick, but B, I had to. If I wasn't sick, I had to lecture for a Bible college, but I couldn't lecture because I wasn't well. So even if I wanted to be there, I couldn't be there. And also, my friend's funeral memorial was that day. So whichever way, I couldn't have been there. So I would have liked to have been there, but that's just one of those things. So this organizer, this Unite the Kingdom was a glorious success. It was absolutely a 100% a success. I don't want to take away from that, but I am going to give some critical feedback for the organizers. If anybody knows the organizers, please let them know about this video. It will help them.
They're all singing. They love Sakir.
So as you can see there, one of the things about Sakir Starmer and the press is they're constantly attacking the Unite the Kingdom as racist. Well, look who's there. There were people of different colours, different creeds, different backgrounds. To say that it was a racist far-right organisation, that Tommy's far-right, is just ridiculous. It's the mainstream media and the mainstream politicians are a total disgrace to the country, gaslighting this group of people who are just ordinary people who've come to celebrate their culture and their nation. So it's an absolute disgrace, the way the politicians and the way the media have dealt with Tommy and this Unite the rally.
They love him.
So then you have this march.
Please, ladies and gentlemen.
And
I've only got 3 minutes.
The people there are absolutely, there was tens of thousands of people there. I don't know how many were there, whether it were millions or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, but there was certainly tens and tens of thousands of people. And it was an absolute amazing sight to see everybody coming to celebrate and have it must have been an absolute amazing time. So then you have Labid or Bede here.
I've only got 3 minutes. I have a few things to say. This country has been run under extreme form.
Now, one of the things that I found which needs to change is the language, the bad language, because this politician, who I respect highly, I respect this guy, he gets the crowd to say Keir Starmer's a you-know-what. And Tommy does it, and nearly everybody who comes on does it. There was a lady, a coloured lady, who dressed in red. She's a great speaker, but she swore. And you have to, I want to say to the organisers, if you look at the video footage, there are children, there are little kids there are little kids like 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and there were many of them that had come with their parents in the march, and I don't think it is conducive to being a family event if you're going to use bad language. And secondly, you're also representing Christianity. So I would say to focus on getting rid of the bad language if you're going to make it more of a family affair. And you know, Ben Habib and these other speakers, it doesn't make your political your political kudos, your speaker kudos with the crowd, doesn't make you look cool. Have a bit more dignity and cut the bad language. So Ben Habib, he got people to say Keir Starmer's a you-know-what. The girl swore, said, "What the F am I doing here?" And yeah, there was generally dotted about bad language. Now, I'm not saying that. Like I said, it was a glorious success. It was a fantastic day, right? So I'm only nitpicking here so that it would be better, so that the organizers can make it better for next year. That's all. Okay. So if anybody knows the organizers, so I would say that if you're representing Christianity, if you want to make it a family affair, cut out the language, cut out the swearing, and let the speakers know that they shouldn't be using bad language, especially if you're representing Christianity, and especially if they're little kids like 4-year-old, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. It's not good that everybody's singing Keir Starmer's a you-know-what. It might be funny. It might help people to express themselves, but if you're going to make it a family affair, which that's what you're aiming to do, it's not cricket, as we say. And also for politicians like Ben Habib, who are high quality men, it's better that you don't do that again. That's my first critical point, and I hope that the organizers take on board. You might say, "Oh, shut up, Jay," Well, the thing is, you need to, if you're going to be a family affair, cut the language out. Simple as that. If you want the little kids to come, and there were many little kids, there were many 4 or 5-year-olds sat on father's shoulders, stood at side of mums. If you want that to continue, get rid of the language, the bad language. And secondly, if you're promoting Christianity, you definitely have to get rid of the bad language. Okay? And if you're going to have people of quality on your streams, then you need to cut the language out. It doesn't make you cool. So that's my first critical point, and I'm saying this as the march was a glorious success. It was fantastic. It was a brilliant day. It achieved an immense amount. I'm not taking away from that. I'm just giving you points to tweak and to So it was good to have Ben Habib. It would have been good if there were more politicians, but there was people who were banned from coming on the street, coming to it. There was a Polish politician that was not allowed to come. So that shows you that the government is just completely outrageous in banning people from coming to the UK to speak at the rally, and an absolute disgrace. So let's just so Leon Fox, right now the music.
The time has come. Come on. From New York streets to Canadian plains, the struggle shared the fire of...
Right, so next critical point is microphones. The sounding was not the best it could have been. Apparently £300,000 was spent on the event. I do think someone sabotaged the sound system. The sound system was not a high quality. So when you're doing the sound system, you need to have somebody on your team. I know a company was involved in the sound system, but you need to make sure that your own people check the sound system throughout the whole event, because the sound system was not at the highest quality. It was not at the best it could have been. So next time you do it, you need to make sure that you have someone independent checking the sound system so nobody can sabotage it, because the sound system was not as the high quality as it should have been. There were problems at the beginning with the sound system which shouldn't have been there. When one of the speakers was speaking, or a couple of speakers were speaking, they were having problems with their mic. Well, that's ridiculous when you're paying £300,000 for this event. And then the actual mics where the singers were Doolin is there singing, those mics were not the highest quality. They were not giving a quality, high resolution sound. And that was replicated in the other places where the screens were, the sound system was not as good as it should have been. Third thing I want to say, the next thing I want to say is I think that Doolin and his team, this is my critical opinion, they took too much of the time. They sang Jerusalem, which was good. They could have maybe sang one more, but I do think that if it's Unite the Kingdom, there should have been, you could have had an Irish singer on, then later a Welsh choir, then later some Scottish dancers. So if you're going to do Unite the Kingdom, you need to celebrate the culture of Scotland, the culture of Wales, and the culture of England. And I think that was missing. That was one of the things that was missing in Unite the Kingdom. And I think that needs to be rectified next time, is you get some Irish dancers or Irish singers singing a gospel song. Get some Welsh choir or some Welsh people singing a song. Get some Scottish people playing the bagpipes or something. You know, celebrate the very nation's cultures, and then have something where they're all united doing it as one. And I think Doolin, you know, I don't know his theology, I don't know his background, but I think his team, they took too much up, and it could have been more creative in putting more of people from different nations from Scotland, because there was a couple of Americans. There was an American singer. I mean, the taxi driver from London was brilliant. That was part of the English culture, and he was absolutely brilliant. And so things like that, say someone from Wales, someone from Scotland, someone from Ireland, you know, Northern Ireland, or a group of people singing. I think Doolin's team, with the best will in the world, they did okay, but you know, I think that maybe they can do one or two songs, but to take, like they did about 6 songs, that could have been cut down and given to someone from, a couple of people from Wales, a couple of people from Ireland, a couple of people from Scotland, and then you're celebrating the nations, their cultures. Okay, so I think that, I know that the main thing is to push Christianity, and I'm all for that because I'm a Christian. But I'm just saying, I think it was too much. And, you know, with the best will in the world, his group, it's not the best. I mean, the lady, the lead singer, she was okay, but it's not the best worship group you could have. I mean, it is okay, but it's not the best. And so I think Newland, you know, maybe 1 or 2, maybe to kick off, and 1 in the middle. But I think there has to be more diversity. I think that I was really pleased with some of the speakers were superb in terms of the Pink Lady. I think this lady.
Thank you so much. Please follow my page.
The nurse and her plight and what happened to her was fantastic. More stories like that were absolutely phenomenal.
And support me. I've got a long way to go.
Katie Hopkins, well, she's entertaining. I think maybe having a little bit of comedy in there somewhere, like someone like Katie Hopkins coming on for 10 minutes, taking the mick out of the government with a few jokes, clean jokes, would be good. And Middleton, interesting character. He didn't really give a lot. It was more to support him for his London mayor election.
Behind a little boy. Her siblings and me, her mum. A big extended family. We couldn't hold her funeral for 4 months because she was no longer Rhiannon. She was classed as evidence. Rhiannon was stabbed 23 times with a Phillips screwdriver. The main injury which caused her death was to her brainstem.
These stories are fantastic because it tells the suffering of what people are going through, and so a great.
Like me from exposing this.
This woman was absolutely amazing about her battle with the issue of the grooming gangs and Rupert Lowe getting the report out about the grooming gangs. She was phenomenal, and so things like that was superb.
You will not stop us.
Now, Doolan's group again, they're nice people, but I think there could have been a bit more variety. You could have had a Welsh choir, you could have had some Irish folk singers singing the gospel as well, and that would have added a flavour of the nations. I think they were given too much, but they did a good job in pushing the Lord Jesus Christ. I'll give them that.
I'm not talking about.
This guy was a businessman. He stepped to the front, and I think he supported the march. And it was good because it showed courage that he's willing to stand up. Yeah, you had this lady. I think you've got to be careful because some people are jumping on the bandwagon of nationalism, Christianity and nationalism. And are they really bringing anything to the table? Only like just looking kind of interesting character. Tommy, I love you, man, but I think you were too much on it, and I think this is something you need to address, Tommy. And I said this with love, and I'm behind you 100%. But I think you were on it too much, and there was too much singing of Tommy, Tommy, Tommy. You don't want to be building it around yourself. You want to be building it around new leadership, because there'll be a day when you get older, and you'll need people to take over. So I'd seriously think about grooming and developing leadership where you can begin to think in years to come to hand over. But I think, Tommy, that you were too much involved on the stage, because people were singing all the time, Tommy, Tommy Robinson, Tommy Robinson. And I think it detracts away from, it becomes around about you. And and yourself, it's not about you, it's about Unite the Kingdom. So I think you need to watch that obviously you're a draw, people love you, and you're the leader of the organization. However, you don't want it to be built around you, because if the government comes and takes you out, if the government comes and blasts social media and bans everybody, is the movement going to collapse? So you need to, like Jesus had 12 disciples, Tommy, and he spent 3 years with those 12 disciples. So I think that you'd be wise to develop teams that if certain key people are taken out, the movement will continue to grow and continue to go forward because you've trained others that will step up to the plate and push forward. So I think you need to be aware not to build it around yourself. And I think this year there was too much singing, Tommy. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I think there was too much singing, Tommy, Tommy, Tommy. And it's not about Tommy. It's not about you, as you know, Tommy. It's about Unite the Nation. So I think that's something you need to watch, Tommy. I think you need to be a bit careful there, bro. I said this in love as someone who is 100% behind you, mate. So like I said, this critical...
into an action by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder.
So we had Rubio, a video there of Rubio, which we'll come back to in a minute. We had Rubio to give the kind of an intellectual opinion of against globalism, which I'll come back to in a minute. You had this guy from America who sang in honor of Charlie Kirk, which was nice. He sang 2 songs. I think he could have just sung 1 because it's about our culture, Unite the Kingdom. But it was good. They celebrated Charlie Kirk.
Now talking to your neighbor ain't the same.
In his London Black Cab. So today, right now, he's going to sing that song. Download this song, guys.
Over time.
London Cab, he was a guy, he was all right. This AI thing, I don't think it was really necessary to put the AI on. Have real people. Yeah, you don't need the AI. People want a real experience of real people. That's what it's all about.
Northern Ireland. The people of the...
They put him in a tomb.
So, fair play to Tommy. He had this preacher who'd been arrested. Come on, and this preacher preached the gospel.
On the 3rd day, he rose from the dead. And he
preached the gospel there. And then you had these other people come on and they preached the gospel. Then you had this information about the Nigerian. So there was plenty of preaching the gospel, which was fantastic. What I would say about that is that there needed to be follow-up. If people have given themselves to Christ, what follow-up are you doing? There needs to be follow-up. There needs to be discipleship of all these people. That there were many that gave their lives to the Lord. So what follow-up are you doing? There needs to be follow-up of these people and discipleship. There was a lot of preaching of the gospel. It was really good to see, but you need to follow it up with follow-up discipleship of all these people, because otherwise it'll just be cultural and it needs to go deeper into their life, change their life, etc. So there needs to be follow-up. So on the Unite the Kingdom, there should be a discipleship class of some discipleship program where people can learn about Christianity, etc. They had this guy from Nigeria come and he shared about the persecution. I thought that was good.
United Kingdom. If you do time for this nation,
again, Doolin, back to the Lord. He was too much in it. This group.
Go ahead, customer. Try.
It was good to build international cohesion with Europe, where the French, he brought these French girls who are standing up against Islam.
And try hard.
The pink ladies were absolutely brilliant. This lady gave a very good intellectual argumentation for where the country is and where we need to go. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a real intellectual fortitude, and I think, you know, that was needed, and it was brilliant. This lady,
we were
again,
the migrants housed in our base, but they've been
this lady was inspirational, absolutely fantastic. again, these personal stories were powerful and impactful, and they need to be kept there, and more of it in United Kingdom next year. They were brilliant.
Into our town, 300 to 500 of
Bacon guy with the thing, novel, interesting, but I didn't think it had anything to the cult to United Kingdom. Interesting character, but I think you could have used it a bit more wisely. Your time there.
Borders, digital.
Great to have this guy on, a news report from America to encourage citizen journalism. Very good.
ID, two-tier policing.
Myself, okay, and I can use this like a toolbox.
This men's group that advertised was really good. The Polish guy. This American guy singing was not very good. I think you could have got a better singer, and again the mic was not very good. Tutti was okay. He didn't, he could have given more there. So a couple of other things. I think that. So let's review. I think there could have been better mic facilities. Check the microphones. Check the sound system. Get it better next time. Look out for someone sabotaging it, because I don't think it was the highest quality it could have been if you're paying 300 grand. Secondly, I think you need to get people from Wales involved, singing, doing something. Some people from Ireland doing something. Some people from Scotland doing something. You could have a Scottish comedian, a Welsh choir, some Irish dancers. It's a variety there. You've got variety. You're celebrating the culture. I think you could have a little bit of worship time, a few gospel messages, and then you've got these different stories of people sharing, etc. What else is there? Yeah, I think if you're going to give gospel messages, you need to have follow-up discipleship program and follow-up on your website so that people can be discipled in the basics of the faith. And also, you could put that men's group where men can on your website, so men can join those men classes. I think that's a good thing as well. And maybe on your website, have a support network of starting groups in people's areas to do political activism and things like that. So a couple of other things that I'd like to say that I think might be a help. I think that you've got this Unite the Kingdom. I think it would be good to start branching out and doing small Unite the Kingdoms, maybe one in Scotland or one in Wales, one in Ireland, like little ones, and little study groups, like those for men to keep fit, those who want to get discipled, and branch out and start little communities all around the country. Unite the Kingdom branches and where you can learn about your culture, where you can get support, where you can train as a man, get fit, where you can get discipled, and then little conventions where you have, like, maybe hire a farm and have a Unite the Kingdom on the farm in Wales, or hire a building, have Unite the Kingdom. And then the other thing you could do is maybe start having maybe a couple of Unite the Kingdom churches where you plant a few churches, maybe one in London, one in like plant a few churches where people can be built up in the Unite the Kingdom movement spiritually. Those are just some thoughts, and a couple of other things as well. You could also have Unite the Kingdom seminars, where you have Unite the Kingdom seminars where there are talks on Islam, talks on how to defend the faith, talks on social issues, talks on kind of seminars where it develops the intellectual side of the movement. Have some publications on Islam, publications on how to grow in your faith, publication on the history of Wales or the history of Scotland. Like, you can start a little publication stuff and little leaflets where it tells you about the history of Scotland or the history of Britain, or and then also debates, United Kingdom debates. Go to the universities and organize some United Kingdom debates on Islam, debates on, because I think that with the Islam, you need to have, if you're going to defeat Islam, you need to strengthen the intellectual side massively, with seminars, books, debates, to push back Islam intellectually. You need to also have developed community in the working class areas, so have United Kingdom home groups where people are meeting in houses, either to pray, to study, to worship, or men going to the park and training, and develop United Kingdom kind of social groups within towns and villages and cities. So that's my take. I think it was a roaring success. I think the British people did well. They didn't get violent. They kept their cool, even though Starmer tried to gaslight them. And I hope that another one is you could have a citizen training school, citizen journalist training school for United Kingdom, where you train journalists for United Kingdom. So these are ideas. If you think these ideas are good, pass them on to Tommy Robinson, pass them on to his people, and I hope that these ideas inspire him and the team to go further. Well done. It was a great success. These are just minor issues. It was absolutely fantastic. It achieved a lot. It lifted up Christ, and the organizers did brilliantly. And yeah, very, very proud of the British people for what they achieved. So that's it, really. So I just thought I'd share that, and I hope that helps the movement to go forward. And yeah, so there we are. All right, I'm masking, and anybody else, God bless you. I'm going to go. There's no Speaker's Corner review today, but take care and love you all. God bless you.